Hey there, Julia here. Today I'm sharing what I have inked up for February. I'm also excited to share the Members' Choice pairing for this month. We had a good time with it last month. Kind of the vibe I'm going for February are like these romantic colors, maybe a little unexpected because these are gonna be dark and legible like I like them. Last month I had a few lighter inks just to switch it up a bit, but I found that I'm still not reaching for lighter colors. And they were a little challenging on cream color thin paper. I think maybe in thicker, wider paper, maybe it would have been okay, but just was not feeling it as much. So we're gonna switch it up again and go back to tried and true as far as legibility. But let's get into the first pen and ink pairing. The first one is the Sailor King of Pen, the Moroccan Mint Tea Kissan colorway. And this is the first time that I'm inking this one up. I thought it had a really romantic quality about it. I love the transparent cap here and this just odd milky grayish purple barrel here. The nib is quite large and it's 21K gold. I have this inked up with a sample from Galen from Fountain Pendulum. This is Endless Alchemy Drops of Mars. I've never had this inked up in a pen either. And I think Galen sent this to me almost a year ago now for Valentine's. As far as format here, I'm going to try to keep it the same as we did in January just because I liked how that ended up looking. I'm going to use my plastic spoon, my little mini plastic spoon for swatches here. This is just a deep, wet flowing, hearty red. This does have a medium nib. It is nice and soft. It fits really well in my hands. I have long fingers, larger hands, and as far as Sailor pens go, between the Pro Gear and the King of Pen, I feel like they both are a really great size for my hand. Yeah, I really like this combo. Another ink that I considered was Birmingham Pen Company Water Bear. I thought that really matched up well with this barrel color, but it was just very interesting to see the range of colors that felt like they matched both with the barrel and, oddly enough, this cap here. I think because it's transparent, there's a lot of range of color that you can really work with in there. The next pen is one that I got for Christmas. It was on my wish list just to test this out. This is the Hongdian M2 in the red orange colorway. And it's just, I don't have another pen in my collection that has this same color vibe. And it's just really nice. I really enjoy it. And this is similar to the aluminum Kavekos, and I have no aluminum Kavekos, but I've been eyeing the olivine one for quite a while, and I just thought that this would be a cool way to test out the material and also in this kind of unexpected colorway for me. What I have been thinking about is selling a couple of my Kavekos and maybe just getting an aluminum one because I really like the feel of this. And this one is quite affordable, and so far it's a lovely writer. So this one has a fine nib. I have it inked with another sample from a pen friend Jasmine. You can find her at Cozy Travelers here on YouTube. But this is a kind of a rare ink. Even finding more information on it was kind of difficult, but this is Sailor's collaboration with a manga anime called Kuroko's Basketball. So it's a basketball manga anime series. And Sailor did, I think, 7 custom inks for the manga slash anime. And each one had a different character. So this one, Jou-Netsu, is for the character Taiga Kagami. And it's such a cool color. It's a red-orange color. It matches this perfectly. It had some sheen going on, and I don't even know where to tell you to find this ink. I assume she got it while she was in Japan, but it is a really lovely ink. And if you end up liking it, I think a good dupe for this one would be the Wet Pen Madrona. I could be wrong. We can do a little comparison. Flows so great out of this pen, and it's just, especially once we got past that initial dark writing, it is such a spot-on match. We'll see whenever this dries and I hold it up, but you can even see it now. It's so good, I love it. Let's do a little comparison while we're here with the Wet Pen Madrona. I love these little smaller bottles that he started doing. And this one's still probably a little hard to find just because his inks sell out so quickly. But if you do the little notification for when it gets restocked, you have a better chance. We'll see how this turns out. It's going to be harder to tell. I should have did like a little writing as well, but I'll just leave that right here while we continue. Next up is a pen that I was recently gifted by Esterbrook, and honestly just want to try it out, test it out, and see how it goes. I thought that the colorway was right along with the romantic season, and so we have the Esterbrook Sally fountain pen. They're calling it an Estie, but this is not an Estie. I don't know, but this is a collaboration with Peanuts. Like, they licensed Peanuts for this. There's a few different ones, one for Snoopy, one for Sally. I honestly cannot, I am not a Peanuts person, so I don't know. But I thought the color of the pen was really cool. I like the combination of the pink polka dots and this corally orangey cap and grip section here. We get a little good grief on the nib, and apparently this is a different nib than what's usually on, let's say, the Esterbrook Estie. I think it may be an in-house nib, and so I'm really curious to try this nib out. This is still a number 6 size and possibly can be swapped out Yovo style, but it's not a Yovo nib. We shall see, but it is really weighty and posted, seems well balanced. Like, I do enjoy that. Don't love the clip, so I just right now just pretend like it doesn't exist. And we have a fun little finial that says Peanuts Pen Pal 75 because it's for the 75th year of Peanuts. So I have this inked up with the last little bit of Sailor Ink Studio 573. We are pretty Sailor heavy here. So what do you think? Do you think it's going to be pink, or is it going to be closer to this? All right, so yeah, it is closer to the cap. We're still, as you can tell, quite wet. It is closer to the cap, but a little darker just so that it picks up in writing a little bit better. It is, when you write with it, as you'll see, it still feels closer to this cap color. And this is a medium nib, if I haven't said it already. Yeah, I mean, so far it's feeling very similar to a Yovo nib. Maybe a little heavier feeling. It is very smooth. I just wish I had a different clip. I even like this little finial there. It's like a gold color. Cool. So I'm excited to report back on this and see what we think. Speaking of an Esterbrook, my next pen and ink combo. This is the Esterbrook Estie, the first collaboration with Bungubox Kachofugetsu flower. And this is funny. There's a couple of these that are kind of funny because members suggested them as the member's choice. And I had already had them in my lineup, so I think we were on the same page for February pen and inks. But I have this inked up with Robert Oster Violet Dreams. And so you'll see that Violet Dreams is more of a purple tone. It does have some pinkish undertones, but I think with this pen it's very interesting because you have this transparent cracked ice resin, and with different angles and with different lighting, it pulls out some purple here in the darker tones, and then in some tones you get this really light pink. So I do like that I can match this one up with pinks and purples and still have that close color tie-in. We are using up samples, which is good. There are a couple of bottles that I have today, but lots of samples, which is good because I recently did a tally of all of my inks, samples and bottles, and I have a fun little circle graph and then like a graph of all the different color categories, and I have 272 samples, so we need to use them whenever possible. Luckily, Ink Studio 573, after another swatch or so for an ink menu, that one will probably be done. It's gorgeous. I'm loving the way these all look together so far. Oh yeah, the nib. So the nib that I have installed in here right now is the Techo nib by CY. And this is a fun nib grind. It's very pointy, very slicey. But with this nib, you do get different line widths depending on your angle. So just some scratch paper here. Write hello there with a very high angle, and then I can write hello there. Okay, my camera overheated there, but as I was saying, with a higher angle you get these thinner lines like this, and then with a lower angle, so if I come back a little bit, you'll get these thicker lines. And somewhere in the middle, let's see if I can get that. Yep. There we go. So you can see that with the pink undertones, which you do get that shading in the writing as well, it does work out as a pretty, I think it's quite romantic looking. All right, and then while we're at it, we can see that even with the sheen, that this Sailor mix Jou-Netsu and the wet pen Madrona very close in color, even with the sheen. So if you do like this, get on the waiting list for this if it's not available right now, and it's a little easier to find. With the next pin, we're popping back over to Sailor Land, and one that is a little harder to find. I was so lucky to get this in Tokyo at the Tokyo International Pin Show. This is a Sailor Pro Gear, the Maki Shimano collaboration, which Maki Shimano is a calligrapher, and so we get their signature kind of stamp here on the finial. We have some of their kind of writing on the cap band here, and then same with this really gorgeous nib engraving. So yeah, very beautiful detail on this pin. These colors are right up my alley. I love a smoky gray purple in both a lighter tint and the darker shade. So very excited about this one. It's beautiful. And it has a broad nib, so this is no, I do have another Sailor Pro Gear with a broad nib, but just wanted to change it up. Usually I am like Japanese medium or medium fine, and that is what I stick to, but every now and again we want a little more juicy. So I have this one inked up with, speaking of the wet pen, another one of his inks. This is the wet pen, Pen Cove Muscle. So yeah, just especially in the writing, very tight match to these finial colors here. And it's just really dreamy, really subdued. I really like it. The next pen I haven't inked up in quite a bit, but I thought that this is a good month to do so. This is the Velma model by Bone Crusher 7 Studios. This was one of my, if not my first maker pen that I got at the Colorado Pen Show in 2023. And I just love, 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 love the way that it looks. And I went to that pen show shortly after getting married, and this really reminded me of my wedding dress. And so I call this my wedding dress pen, and it's just so pretty with all the sparkles and that kind of subtle transparency. And it's a super comfortable pen. It is Yovo compatible, and I have this inked with, I'm sorry, I'm coming at you with all of these harder to find pens and inks this month. I just noticed that. This one is harder to find because it is a Yoseka stationery exclusive that I think they had during their A Spacewalk event at Yoseka Land, but I got this sample from pen friend May, and she purposely sent a lot of samples that are harder to come by just because she knew that I had so many inks. So this one is called Brooklyn Haze by Tono and Limbs. But I would say that this is not a super unique color or anything, so there are sure to be dupes easily found. The nib I have installed in here for this month is a Cursive Smooth Italic, and this one was ground by JJ Lax, who's actually been spending some time at Yoseka recently, so that's just a funny little coincidence. But I do really like this Cursive Smooth Italic. It's a little more slicey than my other Cursive Smooth Italics. So you can see thicker down strokes. Check out these cross strokes, razor thin. As far as dupes for this, I would maybe put on the table Ferris Wheel Press lead cast letters, Pelikan Moonstone, and Diamine Tundra. I'll try to remember to link the dupes for you down in the description as well. Okay, next up I have this lovely Pelikan 605. This is the white transparent, also called the Ghost, and I've had this one for quite a while. I love a Pelikan, and I love any of the striped Pelikans that are transparent so you can see your ink levels in there. This one has gone through it. I think it started off, it started off with a really juicy medium nib, and then I got it ground to, man, I don't even remember now. Something by JC the Nib Tailor, but then I didn't really love that. And so Annabelle at Opus Cineris hooked it up for me and just ground it down to, I would say, like a medium fine. It's just a medium fine nib now. So really excited about this. This is the first month, I think, with the new grind that I'm writing with this. And I have it inked up, speaking of Yoseka, with the Stationery Fest 2024 exclusive ink, though I think they did have it on their website after Stationery Fest, but it's a Yoseka exclusive. This is Confetti Blue. This is also the first time that I'm writing with this ink, and if you remember, this one is one of the inks to use in 2026, so I am marking off an ink on that list this month. I heard lots of feedback from you that this is indeed very legible and lovely to write with, so I'm very excited about giving it a go this month. It's such a pretty turquoise. Yeah, it is lovely in here. Wow. Yeah. Have a feeling I'm really gonna love this combo this month. Okay, the next pen and ink combination comes to us from the members. This is the members' choice. And this time around, we did it similar to last month, and they went through my pen collection, my ink collection. I'm working on my custom grind collection digitally. They submitted requests, gave me a little backstory of why they chose what they chose. And I know last month I kind of was able to pick a member's choice by combining some of the requests, But this month, the requests were so different that it was hard to do that. Nothing really made sense together. So I just went with one that I thought went with what I had picked so far. And something also, though, like something a little bit different that didn't really fit in. So it's like, it's kind of in branding and graphic design world, when you're designing a logo or coming up with a brand strategy for folks in a specific industry, you want it to feel like it's in that industry, but also stand out. And so I felt like this pen and ink combination was that. And since there's a lot of sailors here, there's a lot of talk about Japanese price increases and looking at different options for some of these brands. I thought that this was a good call as far as providing feedback to the members, but it's also very personal to me. And I guess I can say at this point, another kind of cool thing about this pick, and really the coincidence that there's a lot of sailor here, I am part of the sailor crew this year. So over at the Sailor Pen Guild, I will be in the forums there and having a good community time. I also will be writing and taking photos for the blog at the Sailor Pen Guild. And I may show up at a sailor table at a pen show stationery event sometime this year. So that'll be really fun. But with all that said, here is the members' choice for this month. This is the custom colorway that I got to put together at the Ancora store in Tokyo. And I found a fun little koi fish converter to go in here as well. But this is the Sailor Prophet, which is a more affordable sailor pen. It has a stainless steel nib versus some of the other pens that I've shown today have a 21 karat gold nib. And I've had some experience with the Sailor LeCool, I think it's called, and I didn't love that steel nib as much, but I also have another Prophet that I have used and have enjoyed. And I think Sailor is working on another stainless steel nib, so I wanted to definitely have a closer look at these steel pens, and why not also have it be one that I haven't inked up and that is super custom to me and makes me obviously think of the great time we had in Japan. So thank you to the member who suggested this. They also suggested for the ink one that I haven't used yet, and this is from pen friend Danielle, Ferris Wheel Press Atlas Iron Ore, which is a dark, like, I would say charcoal black leaning ink, but it does have some shimmer in here as well. And I do believe this is an Atlas Stationers exclusive from a couple of years ago. I don't think it's available now, which again goes with the theme of this month as well. But I thought it was interesting that they picked that color versus a dark red or even a more orange color to kind of go with the finials or the visible converter here. But they said, which I totally can see, that it catches some of these darker tones in here, which is similar to what I said with the King of Pen. When it's transparent like that, you have a little more range color-wise. So I thought a very interesting ink pair, and one that I would not have ever picked. So that's why we love a good member's choice, right? Oh yeah, and this has a medium fine nib. Peanuts. This is Atlas with Ferris Wheel Press. All right, let's do a fun little gradient. I have enough of this to make it happen, and I really enjoyed looking at it last month. It was really lovely down here, so we'll do the same and see what we end up with. This is so funny sometimes because it feels like a swatching speed run, because I want the previous color to not completely dry so we can get a good gradient. A nice smooth transition. All right, we are all dry. Let's take a closer look at what I have inked for February. All right, we have the Sailor King of Pen in the Moroccan Mint Tea in the Kissan colorway, and this is inked up with Endless Alchemy, Drop of Mars. Then we have this awesome Hongdian M2 in the red orange, inked up with Sailor Jou-Netsu. Also looks pretty good with this one too. But inked in here, we have this ink, Sailor Studio 573, inked up in the Esterbrook Sally fountain pen. Not an exact match, but in writing, especially this hello goodbye, once we get past the initial dark writing, is a pretty nice match. Then we have the Esterbrook Estie in the Kachofugetsu colorway with the Techo nib by CY. This is inked up with Robert Oster Violet Dreams, and I'm sure you can see it now how this purple with the pink undertones matches so well with the cracked purpley pink resin here. Next up is the Sailor Pro Gear, the Maki Shimano colorway collab. This is inked up with the wet pen Cove Muscle. Love this match with the finials here. Then we have Bone Crusher 7 Studios Velma. This is my wedding dress pin because I have no idea what this resin is called. But I do think it's like one of the Ascension Wing, like one of the first Ascension Ghost or Ascension Wing resins. But this is inked up with Tono and Lynn's Brooklyn Haze. Next up, I have my Pelikan 605, the transparent ghost colorway, now with a fine nib, and I have this inked up with Robert Oster Confetti Blue. And then finally, our member's choice for February is the Sailor Prophet, the custom colorway I got in Japan, and this is inked up with Ferris Wheel Press Atlas Iron Ore. Yeah, I think that's so pretty of a match and looks really nice as a backdrop for the koi fish there. So there we have it for February. Please share your thoughts about the pen and inks below. I also always love to hear what you're excited about and what you have inked up for February down in the comments. I also wanted to say thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. That's so awesome. I do have a Q&A that I'm cooking up, and a giveaway coming soon. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer in the Q&A, it could be about anything: pens, inks, filming, stationery, journaling, work, graphic design stuff, whatever it is, leave them down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. And I mentioned something about this confetti blue ink. It is on my list of inks to use for 2026. It's a fun little short list that I made for the year. If you want to check that out, I'll leave it for you right here next. We do some fun swatching. It's a good time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.